So I do have kind of a very basic written tutorial about how to make these pillows on my Instagram, but a lot of people have asked me for an actual video tutorial. So this one started off with 21 loops, so it ended up with 7 petals. This one started off with 15 loops in the circle, and it ends up with 5. Multiple of 3, 21 divided by 3 is 7, 15 divided by 3 is 5. I'm going to show you this pillow just because of the amount of polyfill that I have. So for this tutorial, definitely a row counter, some scissors, lighter, stitch marker, and then your polyfill, or you could use a small cushion. I do not know what size of cushion would fit each pillow because I do not have those cushions. If you wanted to purchase some, and you could probably build the pillow around the size of your cushion. It might take some trial and error, but I'm sure you can do it. You will need 3 colors of your jumbo yarn, size 7. I'm going to be using white as my background color, at least a skein of that, depending how big you want to make a pillow. 1 skein will definitely cover the 15 loop pillow that I'm showing you. Then you will want your green for your leaves, and then some kind of color or red or whatever color petals you want to make. This is just a poinsettia pillow. I have made it with purple, more springy pillow. So it really can be made into any flower, and the number of petals, like I said, is also adjustable by how big you make the pillow. So for this pillow, you're going to start with a slip knot, and you'll want to leave a pretty long tail, so 10 to 12 inches, just so you can close off your end. Create the slip knot, take your working yarn over that tail side, and then you pull up a loop through that. You want these loops to be about 2 fingers width. We're going to be doing 16 in total. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now we're going to create this into a circle. If you want to knit counterclockwise, I go up towards the top and then take my yarn tail down the second last chain space at the top. If you want to knit clockwise, adjust this last loop so the working yarn is coming around the clockwise side, and then I'm going to take my tail and go down through that second last chain space. Now this loop here is going to become my first loop of my circle, and I want it to only be 1 finger's width. I don't want it to be too big, so adjusting that size to 1 finger's width. And then you're going to be pulling up loops around the circle in this outside, around the outside of this chain. And you can tuck your tail just through the middle so you don't end up knitting your tail. This yarn is a little less fuzzy than that white yarn that's on that other pillow, so this pillow might end up looking smaller. The other pillow is probably, this would be the same size if the yarn wasn't so fuzzy. Okay, so let's make sure that we have our 15 loops. So this one's at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Lovely. So that's going to count as my first row. Find my stitch marker here. I like to use my stitch marker in the first stitch of each round. And I'm just going to continue keeping your loops nice and consistent and nice and close together. You're just going to knit around the circle. And I'm going to do this approximately 10 to 12 times, depending how big I want my pillow and kind of what shape I want. If you want it to be more of a flat, wide pillow, then maybe less rows, rounds. Experiment with it. This is just a base to get you started. So that counts as my second round, sorry. And I will just keep doing that. And I'm going to meet you back here when I've done up to 10. And we will finish, we'll see if we were done there or if we'll finish 2 more and then we'll move on to the colored rounds. So I'm on round 9, and I think 10 is going to be enough for the color in this one because I still have, or for the main color, because I still have 2 rows of color to go. So it still will be a total of 12 rounds. So this is my last one, and this is what yours should be looking like if you have gotten to this. Okay, so this next round we're introducing our color, and the pattern is 2 color, 1 green, 2 color, 1 green, 2 color, 1 green, all the way around. And then the next round is just the color, and then we close it off. So this is a lot of burn and joining. So cutting it at the base of the loop before this first one that you're going to knit. One, 2 of the color. Ah. Make sure when you are joining, you are burning that middle cord, not just fuzz on fuzz. You can burn off, or you can cut off some of the fuzz, and also wait for your joins to maybe cool off and dry. I'm going a little fast just for tutorial's sake. I go slower. So now I'm just kind of like scooching it along so that I can work on these next ones. And you kind of like skip this loop and go back that way. And back to red. Two and change. And we are on our last 3 of this round. Well, we don't really need to worry about that because this is our last round. So this is our last color change. This next round is just this petal color. And cut a decent sized tail again, 10 to 12 inches, so we can close it off. So let's close off this beginning chain first. So because we went and knitted clockwise, we're going to close counterclockwise. So taking your yarn tail and going through these chain spaces from the inside to the outside, you're just going to go around, kind of pulling it tight as you go. If it doesn't close all the way, you can just keep weaving this yarn tail back and forth across the opening that you're trying to close until it closes. Okay, so I think I've been through most of the chains and I still have a little bit of a hole, so I'm just going to keep going around a bit, and then I'm going to take it and go inside and go across. Pull up, and one more time across, and then pull up, and I'm going to leave this loop, and I'm going to take the end and I'm going to go through that loop and pull it tight. And I'm actually going to do that twice on the same spot. Ta-dum. And then I'm going to just tuck this yarn tail in to the main body. Now you can either go and stuff. I like to close off my loops first so I don't pull any through while I'm stuffing it. So just from the inside to the outside of these loops, take this yarn tail around, or stuff it and then do this and then pull it tight. Okay, now I'm going to add my polyfill and then we'll meet back to close it up and we will be done. Well, and then we'll add the center yellow. So sometimes stuffing, if you don't have like a pillow insert, can be a little tricky too. So when you're stuffing it in, I like to push in and then push it out to the sides and then just kind of check the shape of your pillow. Do you want it more this way or do you want it more flat? And then just keep stuffing. All right, I'm going to call that good. So now you're just going to pull on this yarn tail. Boop, boop, to close it up. And now take your yarn tail, and I like to go from outside to the inside of the circle. And just, again, one more time, making that loop. Anchor this off twice. And then I'm going to stuff this away. And then I'm going to grab, so you do need a little piece of yellow or whatever color you want for the center. Just going to do a little bit of fluffing there. So for the center, I like to leave a good 8-inch tail so that you have something to anchor it with. And you're just, I'm going to actually cut it again so there's about the same amount of tail, maybe a little bit longer, because we're just going to create a knot in it, like so. And you could knot it again, depending how big you want to make your button. That's what we're going to call it. So the button goes in the middle there. So I'm going to take this one, and there's my center, and I'm going to just go out from the center and then pop that yarn tail up into the center. Then I'm going to go like across the pillow from that and do the same thing. So go out and then up through the center. Pull it really nice and tight. And then double, triple tie. You can burn it, you can sew it, whatever you want to do to secure it. And then comes the tricky part, is pushing that knot down into that center part, kind of, but not the button, just the knot that we tied. And then you can adjust your little button piece there for the middle. And then this is our festive poinsettia pillow. So I would love to see all your makes.